I gotta show you this. I found an extra set of these headers on the marketplace. The same speed engineering crap that's on the Firebird and the Camaro. Guy was practically giving them away for a third of the price of new, or half price, just depends on where you buy them at. And I just picked them up because I may end up, especially on a Firebird. I think I figured out a better way to do it. But they ain't very pretty on there right now. I've dimpled them up in so many locations, probably more than I should have. So they may replace the ones on the Firebird, at least on the passenger side. Uh, Maybe it'd be a little bit better fit, because I don't think any of them are perfect. The weld consistencies are all off, and everything's probably an inch or two here and there. So it may be a better fit when I got on there, and I won't have the crap beat out of it. So it'd probably be worth the money that I spent just to have an extra set to make it look a little more professional. No, just don't tell my wife. Of course, she'll see this when she edits it. Until then, what we're looking at is this tube. Um, we're going to try to figure out how to go about making this work. Because the problem is this hooks into the back of the compressor. And then this is sticking up and rubbing the header tube. So, to be honest with you, I think probably the only real option that we have here is heating up the elbow here and heating up the pipe on this side, getting it to where it's pretty hot. And if we can do that, I think, and we got a bin there that's pretty nasty too. If we can do that, the goal would be to bend this backwards. Now, this is the compressor. Unfortunately, I think that I was planning on putting on the Firebird. I don't think it's the one that came off. I may have thrown it away because it didn't work and it was kind of locked up on there anyway to begin with. But if we can make this work, kind of the problem I'm having getting it on the car to begin with, I need to get this up off the ground. Honestly, once again, I think the chances of this working are slim and none. I'm going to probably end up breaking the line. So let's see. What, 12, 13. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Now, what we can do that was suggested to me, one, is to just try to bend this back. I don't think that that's going to just bend back very easily, especially since it's not mounted on the car. I think that if it was mounted on the car, this wouldn't be such a big deal, that I could probably pretty easily bend that backwards. I don't know, I'm thinking about hitting it with just like I've got a little butane torch, and if I can hit it with a butane torch and get it to where, the problem then becomes, I think, that it's not going to want to bend. It's just going to want to tuck under the compressor more. So I don't know. Sit on the ground, maybe. Just what I think's going to happen is going to crack it up here before it does anything. So, I've got me 2 oven mitts, got me a rubber mallet, and once again here, the goal is just to heat it up on the joints and on the side, hopefully not catch anything on fire, so I don't have to buy any more parts. Hopefully just create the opportunity for this thing to just bend real easy and not break, but I don't think that's going to work. But without any better ideas, this is what we're left with. Fire! The torch is running out of fluid. So let's do this one of two ways. Let's see if we can bend it. If that's bending it, it ain't doing a very good job. That's free of that. Our only other option is tap it out. Well, that looks great, but now you got the problem with this thing rubbing on the side of the compressor. This will probably work. What I don't see is working is this funky bend we got going on here, because this has to come back out the front, and that was pointing down more, so this angle right here now needs to be more flat. I don't know, I may have cracked it too. It's going to be one of those things that's going to be really hard to see until you get it installed, start putting Freon in it, and it starts hissing out this little crack. So, I don't know. What I'm going to do is grab one side and kind of just try to flatten this out. Once that thing cools down, we'll bring it back over here, put it back underneath the car and try again. Okay, well, we experimented. We bent the hose, or the line, I guess not really much of a hose. So, and now we're ready to see if what we've done is going to work or not. I don't know, be interesting to see. So, sliding back in down here. I think like we just got out of here. Oh. You know, I just want to get this thing done. I just don't know if I'll be able to make this work or not. I think it goes without having to run back out and look at the Firebird again. I think it goes above the strut tower brace. Maybe not. Not strut tower brace. That's my Mustang days coming back around. It's kind of hard to figure all this. Where it needs to be without breaking it. So as you can see, the compressor hooks into this, but we're at a bit of a bad angle. All right, we're gonna try this. Hopefully I'm not making a mistake. So if I don't try it with the compressor, I'll never know how close we are. Compressor goes in here like so. You got 3 mounting tabs sticking off the side of the compressor. I just want to clear home. I think that's close. Not hitting anything there. Now, when this is all edited down, it'll seem like this was a pretty short, pleasant experience. And make no mistake about it, it was not a short, pleasant experience. it was nothing but a severe pain in my butt. So I'm gonna go back, make some more bends, come back, and let's try this one more time. Alright, well, we spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours working on this, and I've come to the conclusion that it's time to backtrack. Short of breaking that coolant hose, I can see right now we need to stop. Compressor needs to come back out, power steering pump needs to come back off, and this accessory bracket needs to come off. I need to take that stud out, tilt the header back, reinstall the header, but without that nut. And with or without, doesn't matter. We can put the accessory bracket back on, make this work, then take the accessory bracket back off, put the header nut back on. It's just going to be a big pain in the butt, but this is the only way this is going to work, at least correctly, without tearing something up, is if I stop what I'm doing right now, undo some of the work I've already done. So first things first, I'm just going to stop at this point, remove the AC compressor, set it to the side so I don't knock it down, and I'm our power steering pump reinstalled, both fluid lines hooked up to it. We have our new long tube headers installed. We figured out how to bend the coolant line to go on the AC compressor. I've got a new idler pulley that came in today as well, so we're making progress. We got the poly locks, which we need to learn how to properly install. I got a pretty good idea of how that's done, but I want to educate myself a little further first, because I don't claim to know everything, but I would much rather install it right the first time than to have to do it over a second or even a third time. God knows what I'll break in the process. So I think what we could also do is go back and take all of the spark plugs out and add a little bit of anti-seize to make them a little easier to remove in the future when I do have to pull them out. So I do know I want to go ahead and reroute that ground strap and the starter wiring and figure out how it goes back on the Firebird. But it's raining out there right now, and I really don't want to go out there and look. Yes, probably what we're going to end up doing next is a harmonic balancer install and or poly locks at the same time, or one right after the other. But first, I'm going to pull the plugs. Spark plugs. We've got one down here underneath the first tube. We got one there, and one in the back. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass to get to. It would help greatly to put some anti-seize on them, or oil on the threads, whatever you got, depending on your availability. Just going to do a little dab of anti-seize on the threads, just to help prevent this from being a pain later on to get out. we have today installed our power steering pump again. It's all hooked up and ready to go. We have taken out all of our spark plugs and anti-seized them and put them back in. Still have to do the same thing on this side. After we do that, the goal is going to be to put the poly locks on the rockers and or install the harmonic balancer, either one. I'm not for sure which one needs to come first. I think probably the balancer. Maybe not. I mean, I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. But I need to do that. We still need to install the pulley on the power steering pump. And then once we get that far, we can put the idler back on and the AC compressor back in. But we have made a little bit of progress today. And that's really all I can ask for, is to just keep soldiering along, try to get something done every day. Because if not, project's not going to do it itself. So we'll be back.